So, all right. So when we work in the IT domain, a lot of what we do is project based. Now, what does a project mean? So I've created a few slides for you guys. Let me share my screen and share those slides with you. Okay. So as I said, majority of the time when we do anything in the IT domain, it is project based. Now, what is a project? A project is defined as a sequence of tasks that must be completed to obtain a certain outcome. According to PMI, which is the Project Management Institute, the term project refers to any temporary endeavor with a definite beginning or an end, right? Beginning and an end. So when we think about IT projects, there are things that are being developed and created, and that is considered a project. Anything that's ongoing is considered maintenance. So for this program, we're going to focus on projects, which are things that are being either created or enhanced or brought in as cuts or SaaS solutions, and I'll talk about those in a little while. So depending on the complexity of the project, it could be managed by a single person or many more. Okay, so again, what I want you to understand for this program, what we're going to focus on is a project-based scenario, because majority of the jobs that are available are in the project-based domain. There are many positions that you can find that are in support-related domain, which also include lots of IT positions, and those are ongoing. So things, what does support mean? It means, supporting servers, right? And the operations of IT applications. And that's an ongoing thing. When we talk about a project, it's something that has a beginning and an end in mind, so that way we can monitor the progress that we're making within that project and at some point call it done. So if it doesn't have a beginning or an end, you can assume, not assume, but then at that point that's not defined as a project, that is an ongoing or a maintenance type of an work effort. So then what are the types of projects that you can see? So one of the projects is called off the shelf, which means that you buy a software or solution, and you're focusing on matching the internal needs of an organization to the external tool that you are purchasing. Right. Another type of project that you may have is enhancement of an existing system or an application. This is where the focus is on business process modeling or reengineering and making that system that's already in-house better or more efficient or more effective. Okay, and the third type of project that you may see are new builds. The focus is where the internal on the internal IT infrastructure for sustainability, and the goal here is to build a proprietary system that's not available out in the market. So these are generally the three categories of projects that you will see within the IT domain. And again, the goal here is within the realm of software development, right? So where do projects come from, right? Projects arise in order to meet human needs, either from business or customers. So what is a need? A need is a request to do something better, right? So if you think about Amazon, for example, Amazon was created to meet the needs of customers to be able to shop variety of items and have them shipped directly to your house, right? That was a market need that was needed, and Amazon went ahead and created that product for us, right? So the need, when a need is recognized, management team determines whether the need is worth funding. What does that mean? That means that if a need arises, for example, in Amazon's case, when that was brought up to senior leadership at Amazon. Now, I don't know if you know Amazon's history. Amazon was created, it was more or less a system, not a system, but an online retailer that was only selling books. They were first originally came into the market to sell books. And as soon as they realized that there's a more need to, more than just selling books, they expanded or enhanced their platform to include more needs. Now, thinking back to Amazon, now when they decided to expand into the different categories of products that are available on Amazon, right, that was a need that was recognized by management, and they determined whether it's worth funding or not, because projects are very, very expensive. So when management decides that a need or a project is worth funding, then they move ahead and create it as, or call it a official project. So other reasons why you may have projects or where projects come from include competition. So I have Amazon versus Walmart in the slides. So as you know, Amazon is one of the big retailers that deliver to your house. Walmart is trying to also come into this in the space where they are now introducing buyers. So now when you go to Amazon, they have a lot of different buyers that are selling their products on the Walmart domain, right? Similar to what Amazon does. Amazon allows different sellers, different people to sell their products on the Amazon platform. Walmart is now also going into that space where they're letting sellers sell their product on the Walmart domain. So as you can see, one of the why is Walmart doing this? Because their competition is doing this as well. So now they are very focused on bringing that to the market. Market research, oftentimes lots of companies do market research to see what their competitors are doing, and what their competitors, if they're doing something that gives them the market edge. A lot of times companies implement projects to also maintain a baseline to make sure that they're aligned to their competition. Okay. And then we may also have projects through regulatory or compliance changes. What does that mean? That means that, let's say, if there's a law or a bill passed by Congress or by the government, or different entities that are ruling different organizations, if there is a compliance or regulatory change made to the environment, companies that fall under that environment now need to make changes to their IT systems to allow and support those compliance changes. Okay, so an example could be, when we had COVID, right? That it was a mandatory for some companies to have employees get COVID shots. So companies then that fell under that rule or regulation needed to now report all their employees that had COVID shots. That's a change in the system that we need to introduce to be able to capture that data, right? And then also report it out. So in this scenario, this became a project because we needed to capture that change that came from a regulation or compliance of some sort, which required us to make changes to our systems to support that change. And then, oftentimes we will see new projects because we have a new boss in town, right? And it could be for a political gain. So generally, there's many, many different reasons why we have projects, but I can assure you, all companies have lots and lots of projects, and we have IT projects in every domain. We have IT projects to support banking. We have IT projects to support healthcare, for the insurance industry, for many, many industries that are out there, because as you guys can understand, we rely on systems to do work. Those systems need to operate efficiently. As I said in my last slide, those systems need to work better, more efficient, and more effective. And so therefore you can understand that these projects are abundant and available, or are being done in each and every industry. Okay. Now, what is market research? I talked about market research in my last slide. Market research is where companies try to find market trends. They could be doing this in a number of ways. They could be looking at their competitors. They can also be looking at what things they can provide that are not available in the market yet to make sure that they're always a step ahead. They can do this in a number of ways. One of the ways that you guys may be familiar with your other schooling and your other courses is the SWOT analysis. This is where companies try to identify strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And from there, they can assess what projects or what systems or what enhancements are needed to make sure that they're above the competition or at least baseline with the competition. Okay. And then once they find those things that they want to move forward with, those then become project requests. And then, as I mentioned, once those are funded, right, management agrees with the analysis completed. Once they're funded, that's when they actually become full live projects. Okay, so in these a couple slides, my goal was to introduce to you what a project is and how and where they come about, and identify the basic needs of a project. Okay, in the next section, I'm going to introduce to you a project scenario that we're going to use for the remainder of our program to help you understand the various roles that are needed to make a project successful. Okay, I'll see you in the next section.